Hey guys, it's Gun. And I'm sorry it's a little dark, but as you can see I have a stack of cards that I will be doing a discussion on. So, let's get into this. My first card I'm going to be discussing is Mind Control. Mind Control, I feel is really powerful right now, especially in the sideboard. You could even main it. Crap, I just dropped my Shuttle extra deck. I was sitting on the edge of my table. Mind Control is really powerful. For one fact, there's a couple of facts. If you're playing against Stellar Knights, you can, if they have the Exceed on board, you can just take their Exceed and pop a back row. You can also take, they like to go into Emerald a lot, so you could also take their Emerald and then recycle cards in your own graveyard. There's a lot of cards, Exceeds that they make that you could take and possibly use their effects against them. So Mind Control against them is really good. It's also good, I wouldn't say, against Shaddoll. If you're playing Shaddoll and you Mind Control and use their stuff as material, then they're going to get their effects. So Mind Control is a little bad there. But it's definitely worth mentioning in this. So, Mind Control is my first card that I wanted to discuss. Oh, all these cards spurred off me watching the ARG circuit series that happened this weekend. So, the next card I'm going to talk about is Flying Sea. Flying Sea is really good. For one thing, if you, at the moment, the top 3 decks, everyone is saying, sadly, is Shaddoll, Stellar Knight, and Burning Abyss. Now, Flying Sea stops 2 of those decks, that being Stellar Knights and Burning Abyss. They go Tour Guide, and they go Skarm, and then you go Flying Sea, and you stall them for a turn. So that's good, that they can't get their combos going, because that deck always relies on Tour Guide, so you need Tour Guide in that deck. So if they can't get their Skarm to go to the grave that turn and get their Tour Guide and get their pluses, then they're going to be a little slow. They're going to be a little behind. And then Stellar Knights, they just basically keep looping, and if they do this, they can't go into their Exceeds or do anything. So this is also a good card against them. So I just thought it's all. Now a card that a few people were maining, and I feel this card should be mained at all times, is, well, during this format, because everything has an effect that when it hits the graveyard, if you're playing against Burning Abyss, when their Exceed goes to the grave, they get to, I think, add 1 back to their hand. When you're playing against Stellar Knights, their Exceed, when it dies, they get a special 1 from the deck, I think, or the grave. And then, I think it's the deck, and then their other Exceed that's coming on the next set gets to go for the grave. And then all the Shadolix fusions. So, Grand Mole is just too amazing. Light Imprisoning. I don't know if I saw anyone. I'm pretty sure I saw people side this, but I didn't see very many people side this, but I saw Shadow Imprisonings. I don't know why you wouldn't side this against Stellar Knights. Stellar Knights are too good, but that's not too much. That one's not too much of a discussion. This card is, oops, if you can see it, it's Mistake. Mistake, I feel, is huge right now, just for the fact that you could play. I'm a Shaddoll player, so you could easily play Mistake. Mistake is so very good. If you can get your fusion at least early enough before you activate Mistake, Mistake just completely stops the Stellar matchup. If this gets on board before they can do anything, this completely stops them. They can go Altair into Deneb, but they won't get their Surge. They can't do anything. And then up against Burning Abyss, they can't go Tour Guide Skarm. Yeah, so this stops almost everything right now. If you're playing Shaddolls, it's almost the perfect side right now. Everything is special summoning in this format, so Maxi is main deck worthy in my opinion. So that's a quick little one for you. If you're playing Shaddolls, I would almost say Super Poly is mainable and not sideable anymore. Burning Abyss are all dark and their Exceed is light, so it's all theirs. All of the Stellar Knights are light, so yeah, Super Poly. Yeah, it's definitely almost main deck worthy at 1, maybe 2. I saw a lot of people playing 2 Fusion, 2 Super Poly. I would still stick with 1. Oh yeah, I guess, I don't know. It's still a good card, so Super Poly. And for my last thought and tech is Karma Cut. Sorry if you can't really see it. There's Karma Cut. What can I say about Karma Cut? Karma Cut looks like it's going to be an all-time MVP or underrated MVP of this format. Because if you're playing against Stellar Knight and they don't have the counter trap, you could easily, when they summon Deneb, just flip this, banish their Deneb. They're bound to have a Deneb in the graveyard, so you banish this and one of their Deneb on field and one in grave. If they have all three, then the person you're playing is probably going to scoop right there, because without Deneb that deck is nothing. You could even hit their Altair, if they have because they loop it so fast with all the Denebs that you're bound to hit maybe 2 or 3 out of the grave, and without that, the deck is completely dead, so in that sense it's amazing. Same for Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss get all their monsters really fast in the grave, but they keep looping them out. They can do plays that get them out of the grave. So you hit them with Karma Cut, and they basically lose them all. Makes it really good. Just removal plays. I don't know if this... Maybe. Yeah, this has no negative effects on you either, so I was just making sure. So you can even play it in the mirror. Shaddoll. Especially, it's just removal. You can get rid of their Shaddoll fusions. Well, not their fusions, but their fusion monsters. And so they want to get their effects, so it's just banishing out. So I feel Karma Cut is going to be a huge, huge MVP. And right now I'm testing Thunder Dragons and Shaddoll, which is amazing. I personally think it's amazing. It gives you, first of all, thins your deck. You draw it, you get to discard it, and then add 2 from your deck. So basically you're playing a 37 card deck. Then it gives you discard farther. You can discard both them for effects. You can use them for fusion, so it just gives you more hand advantage in their light targets. And then you also play Star Charge, so you have access to level 5 Exceeds. So with that being said, Karma Cut's extremely good in my opinion, and that's basically after watching the RG circuit this weekend. That's what, going through all my cards and looking online, yeah, that's what I found, these cards. So I'm going to go over the list again real quick for you guys. In my number 1 spot, I'm going to put Karma Cut for the most underrated side deck card that you can be playing right now. I'll put Maxi second, because Maxi can almost never be dead. Especially because even if you're playing some random deck, a lot of decks special summon. Ying Xing, if you're just ramming all if you have because they can float for days. So as long as you have because you can activate Maxi on both your turn. So every deck special summons a lot, so Maxi is always that good. Super Poly. You could even, oh my gosh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I was putting way too low on the camera. Super Poly is really good. I would almost say if you're playing Stellar Knight, which is ridiculous, playing Stellar Knight or Burning Abyss, you could play side this and go into a Shaddoll fusion, which would probably be you could go Midrash, Winda, or if you're playing Stellar Knight, you can go Construct, just so you have their big body and they lose a monster. But that's, I don't know, that's just me. You get rid of one of their monsters, but it's got negative effects. Mistake. Everything searches, so that's extremely good. Light Imprisoning is really good, but it only works really against Stellar Knights, so kind of sucks. Grand Mole, because he's main deck worthy. He's just too good of a card right now. He's in 1 card out to almost everything in this meta right now. Flying Sea, because Flying Sea stops all those Exceed decks, and if you're playing Shaddolls, you don't really care about Exceeds as much. You play 3 Exceeds, 3 or 4. So Flying Sea doesn't hurt you in any way, even though it doesn't even hurt you. And then Mind Control, because you can do some stupid plays. You take their Stellar Knight, Exceed, pop a card, or if it has 1 more attachment, you take their Stellar Knight, then you detach that attachment, pop a card, and then you can respond to their summons again. Or you can take their Dante if you're playing against Burning Abyss, mill 3 cards and get their effects. Hopefully you can mill Shaddolls. And yeah. So those are my techs, or my thoughts on good techs for this format right now. I'm playing Shaddoll, so none of these really are going to really hurt my deck. The only one that could possibly hurt my deck is these last two, but it hurts almost the whole entire meta. So, on that bombshell, guys, it's been Gun, signing out. Peace.